Hello everyone, today it's National Numeracy Day. Now we use the word maths at school, but numeracy just means that you understand and know how to work with numbers. So I was thinking about when I use numbers, and I use numbers when I'm telling the time. So if I want to watch something on the telly that's on 8 o'clock in the evening, I will check the clock to see when it's almost 8 o'clock, so I'm ready to watch the telly. And we often have our dinner at 12 o'clock lunchtime. And so quite often you might be checking the clock to see if it's almost lunchtime. So let's have a look at this clock. This is an analog clock. So we have two different sorts of clocks. We have analog and digital. So let's have a look at an analog clock. So an analog clock is usually in a circle shape, and it starts always with number 12 at the top, and then we have the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 going around the clock back up to number 12. And we have these things here that are called hands. So they're not these sorts of hands, these are clock hands, and there are two hands. There is this big long hand, and this is called the minute hand. And it's called the minute hand because all these little dots around here represent minutes in the hour. And if I was to count all these dots, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, if I was to keep going, I would count 60 because there are 60 minutes in every hour. And this long minute hand goes around 60 minutes, and then it's done a full hour, then another 60 minutes to do another hour. And then this is the hour hand, so it's pointing to the hour we are on. So at the moment, I know that we are in the hour of 12. Okay, and these hands always go around the clock in a clockwise direction. So this is clockwise. If I was to go backwards, that would be anti-clockwise, but the hands on a clock always go in a clockwise direction. So that's an analog clock, and some people wear watches on their wrist, and they're often like this, an analog clock face. Then we also have digital clocks. So if I turn on my iPad, you can see the time is displayed on there. It's 12:30 or 30 minutes past 12. And a lot of you have Fitbits. And look, this is saying that the time, oops, I'll just get it on, is, oops, that's my steps, 12:31. 12:31. So I'm going to look at analog clocks today. So I've made my own analog clock. So this clock here, I just drew around a plate, and I drew the numbers around the clock. I started at 12 because that was always at the top, and then I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And I put a little dot in the middle, and I made two hands. I made the minute hand and the hour hand. I made them in different colours so it was easy to see which was which, and I also remembered that my minute hand is always so much longer than the hour hand. So I'm going to look at o'clock first. So if we want to know, I need to get up when it's 6 o'clock to remember that that minute hand, that long big hand, always must point to number 12. O'clock is always at the top. And then if I'm getting up at 6 o'clock, I would need to see that hour hand pointing to the hour number 6. So it's a bit fiddly to do this, but there we go. It's the best we can do. So there we go. I now know that it's o'clock because the minute hand is pointing to the number 12 at the top, and the hour hand is pointing to the number 6. So it is now 6 o'clock. So let me show you 8 o'clock. There you go, children. So when we make 8 o'clock, we have our minute hand at the top on number 12, and the hour hand is pointing to the hour of number 8. So we now know it is 8 o'clock. So if I was to make 2 o'clock, I would have to make sure that the hour hand was just pointing at number 2. It's a bit fiddly to video this and show you at the same time. You'll probably do a much better job than me. There we go. So that is now saying 2 o'clock. So maybe you could have a go at making your own time hands and a clock, and have a go at making the time. Maybe you could try 10 o'clock or 4 o'clock. Just remember that long minute hand must always be at the top on number 12 to say o'clock. So that's 2 o'clock.